Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today's Star Guide will be covering a heavily requested topic after my Trade and Dogfighter videos. To make fruition this trinity of ship types, we must of course look at the Explorers, those ships that pave a path for all others and brave the unknown verse. This Star Guide will use all available information to help you choose an ideal ship for exploration based predominantly on ship specifications compared to their relative tier. If you're looking to make a name for yourself in the Galactopedia or explore deep space, you've come to the right place. Now let's get started. Up first is Tier 1. Tier 1 is meant for two kinds of ships. First, for the basic starter ship that has no dedicated role, and second, ships that while exploration capable are not the most ideal choices based on the defined roles given by CIG. It's actually more difficult than you can imagine defining what a legitimate explorer is, considering you can technically explore anything with any ship. Besides black holes, we don't explore those. That being said, let's take a look at the Tier 1 ships and sort them out after. First up for Tier 1 is the Outland Consolidated Mustang. As a dedicated pursuit and light attack ship, the Mustang hosts a modest complement of 2 TR2 engines, 6 TR1 thrusters, a cargo capacity of 5 tons, a power plant, shield, and weapon system on par with the Aurora class ship, and a ultralight frame. As a small fighter meant to be an upgrade option to the Aurora, this ship packs quite the punch but has little in the ways of space-time longevity. The nature of small fighters like this isn't to have large tanks of fuel for extended travel. Next we have the RSI Aurora MR, LX, and LN. All three ships are very similar to one another, yet a side-by-side comparison shows easy identification which of the three have superior specifications in almost all categories. The LN is without a doubt the best Aurora at a marginal price increase for most job roles in Star Citizen. However, a stat-by-stat comparison does nothing for the Aurora LN when the Aurora LX is the first early game ship to come stock with a jump engine. This jump engine allows the pilots to move between star systems, literally expanding its exploration potential exponentially. That being said though, I will not be taking into consideration stock equipment for my decisions. All ships besides the P-52 Merlin are able to purchase and upgrade a jump engine, making a decision based solely on an upgrade slot a bit short-sighted. Finally, we're going to be looking at the Kruger Intergalactic P-52 Merlin. The Merlin is a close support craft featuring similar attributes as the Mustang. It's incredibly unique because this ship can only be acquired pre-launch by purchasing the RSI Constellation. Likewise, the P-52 Merlin, as mentioned before, is unable to upgrade itself with a jump engine, making its exploration potential limited to in-system flight only. Now that you've seen the 5 ships of Tier 1, let's pick a winner. First off, I'm going to immediately rule out the P-52 Merlin. Its inability to use a jump engine and its unique nature of pre-launch sales makes it both expensive and a poor choice for an explorer. When looking at the Mustang and Aurora variants, a side-by-side comparison shows that the Aurora LN wins out every single time. Upgrade capacity, weapons, speed, and more. All of these are far better on the Aurora LN. If it wasn't already obvious, the winner for Tier 1 is the Aurora LN. To be honest, this choice was quite easy. The next tiers, however, will not be. Moving on to Tier 2, we're going to be looking at mid-game ships. These ships, while able to function in other roles such as combat and trade, still allow you to explore the universe with extended cargo bays, larger fuel tanks, and the weapons to remove pirates from your path. First up for Tier 2 is the Origin 300 series. The 300 series is made up of the 300i, the 315p, 325a, and the 350r. If we look at the first 3 ships, we can see that they are nearly identical in literally almost every single way. The main differences are the equipped weapons and additional equipment that comes with the ship. The 300i and 315p are both missing weapons from their Class 2 and 3 hardpoints. The idea is that the slots are open and that you, the pilot, will have to buy these weapons to fill those slots out. The 325A, on the other hand, comes fully loaded out with weapons giving you an initial advantage over your 300i and 315p compatriots. As for the additional stock equipment, we've got 2 unique builds. The 315p, being dubbed an official exploration ship, comes with an Origin Explorer jump engine and a Chimera jump scanner, making it a direct upgrade from the Aurora LX. The 325A, on the other hand, comes equipped with a Wills Op custom weapon system, which improves your default targeting and weapon controls. Moving on, let's look at the racers of Star Citizen. Currently, there are only 2 officially designated racers by CIG, the Origin 350R and Origin M50. Both of these ships are built to be lightweight, incredibly fast, and streamlined for its role. While I have no doubt that these ships can be used to explore various points of interest, it is at a severe disadvantage compared to its peers. With engines built for speed, it's highly unlikely that they are also built for fuel efficiency. To explore at any length of time, you need engines built for a marathon, not a sprint. Next up is the Aegis Avenger. Even though it's officially labeled an interceptor interdiction craft, the Avenger is another great choice for an exploration ship. With a single TR5 engine, 8 TR1 thrusters, similar shields, and a power plant as the 300 series ships, and the first to boast 2-digit cargo capacities, the Avenger is an excellent choice for an explorer. Finally, let's look at the Hornet and Scythe. I'll be honest, I had a very hard time placing both of these ships in Explorer category. In my previous Dogfighter video, both the Hornet and Scythe excel at their specific roles, but as dedicated explorers, these ships are riding the struggle bus. Starting with the Hornet, I'm going to immediately rule out all of the variants and just look at the base Hornet. I'm ignoring the variants because the F7C S, R, and M all have 0 cargo capacity. While the base version isn't much better when it comes to extended flight, it at least has 4 tons of cargo, which allows the pilot to fully appreciate exploration by loading goods from faraway star systems. That being said, the base Hornet by itself shines when it comes to personal defense. If you plan on exploring hostile territory, the 8-weapon hardpoints, heavy armor, and speed are sure to keep you alive to see another day. Looking at the Scythe now, this ship suffers the same problems as the Hornet. While being offensively impressive, the nature of being a dedicated fighter results in poor exploration attributes, including a 0 cargo capacity. As it sits, the Scythe is incredibly fast with 2 TR4 engines, 12 TR2 thrusters, and 7 weapons including a ramming blade. If you're looking to explore in a glass canyon, this is your ship. Now that we've looked at all the Tier 2 ships, it's time to decide a winner. The way I see it, I think we can exclude the 350R, M50, Hornet, and Scythe. All of these ships are amazing choices, but for extended flight, they are vastly inferior to their peers. That leaves us with a 315P, 325A, and Avenger. Of all 3 ships, the 315P is the only officially designated exploration ship by CIG, but as we talked about before, all stock equipment such as a jump drive can be purchased in-game and only offer a tiny advantage at the start. That forces us to look at the base attributes instead, which are incredibly close. With the same weapon hardpoints, shields, power plants, one of the only deciding factors is the cargo capacity. The Avenger has a marginal 2 tons more than the 315 and 325A. That being said, Tier 2 is a 3-way tie between the Avenger, 315P, and 325A. Each of these ships offer a tiny advantage at the start of the persistent universe, including a jump drive, combat system, or cargo capacity. With the prices so similar to each other, simply choose a secondary role you're interested in, such as trade or dogfighting, and pick that respective ship. With Tier 1 and 2 out of the way, we're moving closer to the Class A explorers. Before we get there though, we have Tier 3, which will show off 4 ships that were all a cut above Tier 2, but not quite on par with the Tier 4. First up is the Drake Interplanetary Cutlass. With the maneuverability and weaponry of a dogfighter, the cargo capacity of a trader, and a stock docking collar for aggressive negotiations, the Cutlass makes a surprisingly good explorer. This ship can not only take you into low security space, but do it in style. The second ship of Tier 3 is the MISC Freelancer. The Freelancer is a mercantile ship by nature, but with a massive cargo capacity of its class, 2 TR5 engines for high cruising speeds, a decent array of weapons for protection, and a stock Tarsus Leaper jump engine, the Freelancer also makes for one fine explorer. Look, the fact that it appears to be the long-lost cousin of the Serenity is proof enough in my book that this ship is built to explore the universe. Up next is the Anvil Gladiator, a vessel officially labeled a carrier-based bomber by CIG. With a crew complement of 2 and 6 Class 3 hardpoints, which are missiles, I see the Gladiator in the same class as the Avenger, except that it's been outfitted with the weapons of a Retaliator. I put the Gladiator in Tier 3 because it doesn't require a large crew to operate, but comes equipped with the tools to explore low security space without much difficulty. Finally, let's take a look at the Xi'an Scout. Dubbed the Cartu-All and manufactured by the Aopoa, the Xi'an Scout is a light attack craft used by the Xi'an military. The design allows the ship to be incredibly agile while also having a decent array of Class 2 and 4 weapons. The Xi'an Aopoa Corporation manufactured this ship as a human civilian model to be a dedicated scout and explorer. That being said, the ship itself does not have any cargo hold to speak of, however the alien design is supposed to allow for extended travel. That's it for Tier 3. Looking at the past 4 ship designs, I'm going to have to pick the Freelancer as this tier's winner. With twice the cargo capacity of the second runner-up, 2 TR5 engines for high cruising speeds, and high defensive and reasonable offensive weaponry, it makes a fine balance between the aggressiveness of the Cutlass and the lesser capabilities of the Gladiator and Cartu-All. Now that we've gone through the early and mid-game ships, let's move on to the end game. These ships are the creme de la creme, the best in their class. If you're looking to spend a good penny and reap the rewards of that hard-earned cash, look no further. Up first, let's take a look at the Misk Starfarer. As a dedicated tanker, refueler, and cargo carrier, this is one big Bertha. Weighing in at 125 tons, this ship comes equipped with 2 TR5s and a single TR6 engine, a massive power plant and shield system, and 75 tons of cargo capacity. As an unrelated side note, it should be mentioned that those 75 tons of cargo capacity are currently dedicated towards liquids. It is possible to switch out the tankers to haul standard goods as well, but CIG came out and said they would be not as efficient as the liquid containers. I digress. The Starfarer is a massive ship able to refuel, defend itself with a shield and a max size of 7, and the first ship to utilize the TR6 engine. The only downside to the Starfarer is it's noticeably low on offensive weapon hardpoints. To put things into perspective, the Aurora LN has more weapon hardpoints than the Starfarer. Moving on, we're going to look at the RSI Constellation. With 4 TR6 engines, 8 TR3 thrusters, a power plant the size of the Starfarer, and a shield to match, this ship is a beast. With an impressive amount of weapons, the Constellation shines in a few other areas as well. The Constellation has about half the mass of the Starfarer and bigger engines, making this ship by far more fuel efficient. Likewise, the Constellation has an upgrade capacity of 20, which is only comparable to that of the Idris. If none of that was enough, it comes stock with an RSI jump engine and a point defense fighter which can be manned by a friend or NPC. Moving from one beast to another, we have the Banu Merchantman. One of a few alien ships, the Banu has some unique characteristics. With 2 TR6 engines, 60 tons of cargo capacity, and a wide array of weapons, the Banu is an excellent explorer by any standards. The Banu Merchantman sacrifices cargo capacity to make up for the Starfarer's main drawback, offensive weapons. I see the Banu as a trading ship with teeth. If you plan on trying to take one of these ships as a pirate, you better bring some friends. Up next is the Drake Caterpillar, a heavy mercantile ship with 2 TR5 engines, 8 TR2 thrusters, an average power plant and shield system when compared to its peers, and slightly less weaponry than the Banu. The Caterpillar as a ship has always confused me on its role and function. For $225 US, it's actually quite average. Compared to the Constellation, which is also $225, it has less cargo capacity, has worse engines and thrusters, has smaller shields and a power plant, and less weapons. While it may be slightly less mass than the Constellation, the mass to thrust ratio still puts the Constellation way ahead. The official website claims the Caterpillar is designed for supporting pirate operations, but until we hear more, I don't see why another dedicated ship cannot support a pirate operation more efficiently. Last but not least, we have the Aegis Retaliator. As a long-range bomber, many might consider this ship an unworthy explorer. Well, too bad for those people, they would be wrong. The Retaliator boasts 5 TR5 engines, 8 TR2 thrusters, an equal power plant and shield system as the Constellation, 30 tons of cargo capacity, and a massive amount of weapons, including 12 Class 3 hardpoints and 5 Class 5 hardpoints. So let's break this down. The Retaliator has an ideal mass to thrust ratio, more guns than any Percival ship, including the Idris, and lots of cargo space for picking up rare goods in faraway systems. It sounds to me like this ship is a great choice for exploring extremely low security space in distant star systems. That's it for Tier 4 ships. I'm gonna say this right now, but picking a winner for Tier 4 was incredibly difficult. The fact is, all of these ships can explore not just well, but very, very well. However, this guide already had one tie, so I'm gonna have to pick a winner. The winner of Tier 4 is the RSI Constellation. The decision for choosing the Constellation is mainly comprised of two reasons. The first one is the mass-to-thrust ratio. Weighing 75 tons, the Constellation more than overcompensates with 4 TR6 engines. TR6 engines are currently the largest class of engines you can have, so having those on the second lightest ship in Tier 4 allows for extremely high fuel efficiency and quick escape options in sticky situations. The second reason the Constellation was my choice was the upgrade capacity. As I said before, the Constellation has an upgrade capacity of 20, which is only comparable to the Idris. Maintaining such a high upgrade capacity allows for explorers to have unprecedented levels of customization for ideal exploration situations. Damn, that was a lot of ships. However, if you thought I was done, you would be sorely mistaken. I have one more special treat for you, and that would be Tier 5. Tier 5 only includes one ship, which most of you have probably already guessed. That's right, the Idris frigate is the top of my list for exploration starships. But Byronyk, you can't include the Idris in this guide. It costs $4,000 on the gray market. Like hell I can. People gripe in every guide I've made that I leave out their one ship, so here it is. The Idris frigate is the largest purchasable ship on the market, with 8 TR5 engines, capital ship weaponry, and 120 tons of cargo space. You will never feel wanting in this vessel. Think of the Idris like the starship Enterprise, whose mission was to seek out new life and new civilization, to go boldly where no man has gone before. If that isn't the definition of exploration, I don't know what is. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, very much for watching this Star Guide. With Arena Commander only a few short weeks away, there will be more Star Citizen content on the horizon with focuses specifically on Arena Commander itself. Once Arena Commander is live, expect a significant increase in Star Citizen videos, including tactics and strategy, highlight reels, and dogfighting guides. Thanks everyone again, and I'll see you in the verse. My name is Byronyk, and that is it.